why it's not happening. But we're still not sure because IIT Madras says that it has not blocked any ports. So, from that perspective, we're not sure if this problem is purely from IIT Madras port blocking side or whatever it is. Okay. So let us get back to where we were last time. Um, I think we were sort of, I had a couple of emails from people actually, students. I just want to clarify that whatever exercises that we had given, I think we had given two exercises. One on actually that file read write exercise, and the other one, right? Then somebody was asking, is this assignment given to the only to that student? The answer is no. It's not given to that student. It's given to everybody. No. The idea is that though I pick up one student and give him or her to do something, it doesn't mean it is going to be done by that particular student. It is to be done by all the students to whom it was actually given. Okay, right? We actually address it only a one particular student. It doesn't mean that's the only student who is expected to do that assignment or exercise. It is meant for all the students. Please don't send me an email saying that, can I do that? You are expected to do that. Okay, right? Yeah. So that clarifies this thing. To just recap what we have been doing in the last few classes and where we are, um, I suddenly need the whiteboard. I'm trying to exercise how I can bring in the whiteboard component so that whatever I do whatever we have done in the last few classes, I can just recap using this. Let me see. Are you able to see the whiteboard? Just with all this thing, have you been able to see the whiteboard? I think. So I'm assuming that you will be able to bear with me with that. Okay. Thought this should erase. I don't know why it's not. This is not as convenient as a duster. I guess I should be able to get a new one also as it is. Okay. Last class, what we've been doing is we were sort of telling that there is an operating system underneath. So let me see which I'm able to write there. Still not writing. Okay, how do I get the shit? Not, doesn't seem to work for me at this point of time. Okay. No, I guess I'm not able to get this whiteboard thing on. So I don't seem to be putting the. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a little clumsy for me because I think I need to practice the whiteboard part. I think I know. Okay, is the board right across visible for you people? The board that is, I'll just say that this will say video sharing. What was the thing that I should do now? Just to get the video part. Is the okay? Just let me write it on the board here. Is my board visible? I'm assuming my board is visible. Uh, Let me just go there. Is my board visible? Okay. If where do I get that my video? Is the place where it will show? Okay. If my board is visible, I'll just show you what I've been doing in the last two classes. You can get a little deeper on that side. Okay. So if you basically look at what we have done, we were looking at the operating system, and on top of it is the file system. Okay. This is where the read, write, and the files that are coming in just on top of the operating system. Okay. Now, the database management system will come on top of this. Okay. What is the reason why this database management system is required? Because the file system does not support concurrency. Concurrent files are open, we'll have problems, and we'll also will have problems with fault tolerance. If something happens with the file, then the power goes off, then the file will be in a corrupted state. So both these are not acceptable for us, and that's the reason why we are actually trying to develop a database management system that sits on top of the file system. Okay. Is the board visible? I am assuming you are able to see the board. Okay. I'll slightly move it to the side to just get the expanded view of this board. This is where we are actually saying now this will have the components that it will have is I think the camera is on. If you have problem, I think somebody is saying it's not clear. If I put it slightly early, is that clear? I'm just adjusting the board to my whiteboard here. Is that clear? Yeah. Okay. Just look at this board. If I'm able to write it on this board, that's the easier thing for me. Okay. Right. Now, look at this board here. What we are saying is that an operating system, and on top of it is the file system, on top of it is the database management system. Okay. Now, this database management system, whatever we're talking about, we have the components of, here is the components now. Components are going to be, one is the transaction manager here. Okay. And then we will have the recovery manager here. Okay. This is on top of the file system. This is what becomes the storage. Okay. Now on top of it comes the query language for this storage. And on top of it comes the application, C++ or whatever kind of application which use this query language for working with the underneath storage. Okay, right? This is the model. All this is what we call as a database management system. Okay. Now the storage here comes with the file comes with the model here. Okay, storage models. The simple model is a table, column and rows storage system where you actually store everything as a set of tables. Okay, if you store this as a set of tables, this becomes the relational database model. And something that is built on top of this relational database model becomes the relational database management system. Yeah, RDBMS. That's called the RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Okay. First level, you should understand this. So, normally, a lot of data can be stored as just a set of tables. Not all data can be stored as a set of tables. we are talking about that Twitter assignment, where if you get large number of tweets, how will you store them into a set of table? I think this is something that I've given as an exercise for one of the students. You can just take it as a tweet ID and then store it in the text as a next column. A tweet ID becomes one column and the text becomes the other column. So you should just read from the Twitter API the live streams that are coming in and should just store them in a file. The file, what you will store will be just the setup, all the tweets. You can dump them into a file. No. If it is just a file, there is not going to be any format. You're going to just dump everything into a, the file will write, the program will write onto a file, and the file can just write whatever it wants to write on the, and whatever the program wants to write, whatever format the program wants to write onto the file, it can write that data. Okay. But in this particular case, if you use a database for storing it, first thing is to look at the storage and the model for the storage. If it is only a set of tables that you can store, these are also called relations. This becomes a relational database system. Okay. On top of it is what we have got is transaction manager and the recovery manager. On top of it is the query language, and you will write your program using this. I'm going to drill further down into this. Okay. Is this clear here? If you have any problem, please put it into the chat box. I am continuously looking at the chat box also while I am teaching. So in case there is a problem, please put this into the chat box so that yes. But is whatever I am writing on the board, is that clear or not clear? Board is not clear. Okay. How do I make it little more clearer? Let's see the board. Is that clear now? If I move it very close, is that clear or is that getting? Okay. Right, so this is where we are now. We are trying to understand this whole stack here. Okay. This is where we are going to focus now. I'm also going to show you how this will look like when you actually see the database system, how this whole parts will look like feeding from the file system. Okay. Please understand the way actually I'm trying to build this up is from a more practical point of view plus the conceptual point of view. The stress here is more practical orientation because that's what is missing in most of the colleges. So deliberately what I'm doing is I'm actually introducing textbooks. Okay, textbooks provide conceptual parts. Since this is an online course, I can use all the different models. For example, now I'll switch and then show you exactly the code, how these different parts of this code will look like, and how you can also do some experimentation with this code. Okay, so that is the idea of this. If you remember, the first class started with showing you with the files. For example, I only dealt with file system and on top of the operating system. I actually wrote a C++ program, a C program. This is what I wrote last class. I just wrote a C program for reading and writing the files. Okay. In fact, I gave a simple case where I talked about some 3 students, Nitya, Satya, and somebody else, and they are having a bank balance, and how we will store that on the simple operating system files. And then I started showing you how we will create the same thing on the database management system. And in fact, I went into MySQL and showed you how the same data gets stored in the MySQL system. Okay, to give you further understanding of this approach, how the whole thing gets developed, I will get into the MySQL code and will actually show you what exactly becomes the database management system and how we are going to do the rest of the code from this perspective. So it's not just enough for you to just understand it at one level. You have to go to much deeper level to see how exactly the whole system gets built. Okay, right? That's what I'm going to do as part of the course thing. So what we have at the lowest level is the storage unit. Okay? The storage unit is nothing but, for example, here is the hardware. On top of it is the operating system kernel. Okay. On top of it is the file system. You need the file system. Please understand. You can't work without the file system. Okay. Right. Now this kernel will give you some ways of actually working with the file. For example, the simple interfaces that we will get with it is read a file pointer, open it and read some bytes. Similarly, write based on a file pointer. These are the operating system calls on the file system. Okay, right? Here is a simple exercise that I want you to actually do. Now, I keep giving you some exercises. This exercise is for all the students, not just for one student or one class. Okay. What I want is write on your Unix operating system. Okay. I'm actually asked this question. All of you, I'm assuming, have a Linux operating system. I want you to write a small C program using the read-write system calls, where one file is copied to a new file. Contents of one file is copied into a new file. You have to do something more than this. You also have to get me how much time it took for the file to be copied. For example, let us say I have a file called Jntuk, and then you want to copy the contents of this file to some new file called new Jntuk. Okay. So basically the same contents. You will create two files, copy the contents of this file into the other file. Okay. So that's what you are expected to do. So you have to do this assignment where you take a simple file, the operating system read-write commands. Just open this file and copy the contents of this file to this new file. You also have to tell me how much time it actually took for you for actually copying this file using these two into a new file. Okay. Now this is at the file system level. So this is only understanding how you work with files at the operating system level. Okay. Now when you go a little above this, is what we are saying that we have the database management system or Dbms system. Okay. This is what we have on top of particular file system. So Dbms are built using file systems. You need file system as a basis for building the database management system. The file systems become a storage unit. These are the storage units for the database management system. Okay, and then you are going to build the transaction manager, recovery manager, and query language on top of it to provide a complete DBMS system with which people can develop the applications for database applications. Okay, I will actually show this with the practical thing how this whole thing looks like, and also give you one more exercise this time. The course is going to become little deeper and tougher, but then that's the way we want to actually run this course. Okay, so you have to keep doing little more exercises as part of the course. Otherwise, you will not fully get the contents of the course. Okay. Now let me show you what I mean by this with the practical this thing. Then we will get into ER model. As I understand, the ER model already has been started by Jntuk Moocs, and also there are video lectures available, NPTEL video lectures available on the ER model. So I won't actually cover the ER model. I'm going to directly get into the relational model after today's class. I'm going to get into relational model and start doing the relational algebra and what is the relation, all that stuff. Okay, I won't be covering the ER model, and then I'm assuming that Jntuk Moocs is covering the entity relationship model for you. Okay, Right. So let me actually go through the virtual box to show you exactly what is the uh, uh, I hope I can. I need to share the desktop. Just give me a minute to share the desktop. Uh, the switching actually is taking the probably need to. I don't think the desktop is visible. I think we need to actually do a little bit of this thing to get the desktop. Probably have to do a minimization. Okay, let me see if I have the. Only one of it is coming here. There is a problem with this. It's coming up. Okay, so this I can use. The other one I have a problem. Okay, is the desktop visible now? Start desktop sharing. I'm just trying to share the desktop. Not visible. Okay. Is it visible now? Is the desktop visible now? Is the desktop visible? Is the desktop visible? Yeah. Is my desktop visible? Yeah. Okay. So great. Okay. So let me do the following. Okay. Now, one of the things that yes, that's great. Okay. Now let me actually go back. Go back. Okay. I'll do the things working directly. Okay. So one of the things that you should do, last time actually we did, we are just at the operating system shell now. As you can see here, are you able to see this? Or should I make it bigger? Font bigger? Uh, this is quite big now. Okay. So where am I now with this shell here? Actually, I'm just at the operating system shell. Okay. This is where all the files are located. We already saw some of this. Okay. All these files, this bank program.c, all this we have actually saw last time. Okay. Right. This program is which is actually opening, and then we are actually writing all that stuff. And this is opening this bank master file. This we have already shown you. Okay. This is a file. This is actually this program. This C program is working with this file, trying to put this. And we also showed how we actually convert this into or put this into the MySQL database system. Now, what I want to show you is this is what you need to actually do as part of the okay. I'll try to tell you from where you can actually get the you can actually do the, yeah, you can see the command here, right? The git clone https github.com mysql. This is actually the server from where you can, by using this command, this git command, which provides you with the version management software. This is a version management software. As we're saying, this MySQL is the database where this whole system that I've shown you previously on my board. Okay, this MySQL program, this MySQL database is something that is written on top of the operating system. Okay, now we want to understand what really is the database management system. So all of you should do this command for yourself. Just write down this command: git clone https github.com/mysql. This is an open source software program. So the database full code is available. MySQL code is available, and MySQL dash server.git. This will give you. This will try to create a local repository of the MySQL server program for you. Why I am doing this is for you to understand. This also opens files. Underneath you have a file here. When we actually go and then try to convert this into a database database table, the table correspondingly will have files created. The underneath files are created plus something more. Okay, right? That's the. I suddenly find that lack of the board. If the board is also available, the explanation becomes much simple and easier for me. You know, somehow this writing on this thing is not showing up here. Okay, so put up with that kind of an explanation, because the teacher, I feel I'm not best equipped. In conveying, because of the tools are not available. Complete set of tools are not available for me. Okay. So when you do this, for example, when you execute this, this already exists as far as, so I've actually downloaded this. So if you run it, it will try to create this MySQL server and then directory, and then download all the MySQL program into that particular directory. I've executed this command, and then the whole program takes a couple of hours depending on the kind of link that we have. What we're going to do is we're going to go and then understand this, how exactly this program looks like. Okay. Now, if you get into this here, as you can see here, this is the server, MySQL server. I was explaining there is going to be a storage part here. As you can see here, there is a storage subunit here. The key things that you need to understand: there is a storage part here. Okay, right? This is where the underneath storage, how exactly the files are created, how the things are stored on this, is part of the storage unit. Okay. Now, if you go little up, this full system will show you what exactly is the for example, the SQL part, the structured query language part, you will find that in the SQL part here. Okay, and then if you actually see, there will be a part under the storage for the transaction processing, as well as there will be a log and all that stuff. These are actually different kinds of storages that one can use. We'll go a little deeper onto it. The idea is you need underneath a file where you're going to put your data in. Okay, and then once the data is in, all the rest of the things are actually done by the programs here. For example, you can go and then further see, if you want to see how the files are created. So there are huge programs here, as you can see here. There's a lot of subsystems here which try to store the things and then read the things. For example, there's a log program. This actually provides the transaction management part. Okay. There's also some part of the program here which provides the, for example, there are logs here. The logs actually provide the recovery management. Okay. So the storage system here will have, along with creation of the files, it is going to provide you with transaction management. It is going to provide you with the fault tolerance. All these modules will be part of the database management system which are not part of the file system. For example, you will create underneath a file. Now, any concurrent access to the files will be governed by the lock here. Any fault tolerance which you want to achieve on this will have the logs will make sure that everything can be recovered back. All this is actually done by the programs that are written here. You can go and then look at the programs. There's absolutely no how these programs are written. Okay. For example, there is a read there. You can just go there and then look at this program here. You can see this read 0 read CC. This is a C++ file. This will actually use, as we are seeing, underneath this will use the read write buffering and all those operating system calls which I am actually teaching you. These are part of this read this program that is coming here. Okay, right? Lots of things which you can figure out from these programs how the whole system is built. This is an open source. That's one advantage of actually looking at the open source. A lot of people ask me this question, why I don't use Oracle. Okay, if I have Oracle, I can't go like this and explain things for you. These are all real things. You can go now do the git command, get the entire program. Now whatever I can go and then look at this. For example, the log and logs, how they actually are providing this. Tomorrow you want to improve upon this system. For example, as a project work, you want to improve the storage model. You want to create a new storage model and experiment with that storage model. You can go change this program here, and then you can actually test the whole program to see, what you are doing works correctly, and you can also give it back to the community. All this will be possible, and that's the reason why in academics we should be using an open source, open source software and open source, packages. For the simple reason, it's much easier for the student to go and then do the deep learning. For example, I'm now going and then telling just get this MySQL program and look at this MySQL program, understand this MySQL program, and this teaches you how the database management system itself is built. We are not just going to work with create a table. Now we can go and then see how the create table actually works. For example, if you the create table part of it will be in the SQL. Okay. For example, you can go to SQL subdirectory and then you can see how you can see all the this will have all the programs relating to how the different things are actually done in SQL. You can go and then see the scripts, the actual scripts that are part of how the file is created, underneath file is created, and how exactly the different commands are executed. You can see the corresponding files, programs that are executing this. And if you want, you can change them also. In fact, the last assignment that we gave typically will require you to understand this and being able to make changes to some of the stuff that's part of this program, understanding them and making changes to these programs here. Okay, we don't expect you to actually, but the higher level abstraction is what we are looking at. Okay, this is typically the storage one. We take care of giving the files and all that stuff, and then above the storage is what the SQL will look like, and on top of it is what we are going to actually make the C or C++ programs using this database. Okay, I'll just show you that how hope this is now cut off. I guess where am I actually? I'm actually with this, right? Yeah. Okay, this is the place where we are. We are actually seeing this application. Now let us go a little deeper and then see what was the program where we had started. Actually, we were trying to look at this program. That's a complete program. Okay. This is the program that we are looking at. Okay. This is the rate contract, IIT Madras rate contract system. Okay. This is the program that we are using throughout the course. This is the program that we will be using for teaching you all the concepts. For example, when we set through rate contract details, and do this computer system configuration and say the specification and vendor name you should be looking at, this goes and then looks at the tables and picks these things. Okay. Now, one of the things is these are all tables in the MySQL system, right? So whatever we are doing here is part of the this is what we are saying. Now, whatever MySQL program that we showed you there, that is the program that will be running. Okay, you are now no longer using files. You are using the MySQL program. You can see here, there is a MySQL program. This is the database software, right? The whole software on top of the file written is this MySQL program. This MySQL program is the database management software, and this supports creating tables, storing data into the tables. This I have already shown you previously. Okay, all the SQL statements: create a table, create a database, okay, and insert into the table. All these are part of this MySQL program here. This is the database management software. Okay, now we are running that MySQL program. Earlier, what are you doing? If you want to copy a file, CP is the file is the command, is the program that you use. What I wanted you to write now, the CP program in C. Okay, it's already available, but you can also write the CP program. Given two arguments, file arguments. One will copy the arguments of one file into the other one, contents of one file into the. If you say file 1 to file 2, this will copy the contents of file 1 into file 2. Okay, this is basically the program written on top of files using the read and write. Now, instead of using this file system, you will use the MySQL, which is the database management system. And this is where you are saying you will have the username is www and the password is w123, and this gives you this MySQL command, like what you had got this prompt here, right? Now, since you are running the MySQL program, this prompt will come. So you are on top of MySQL now. So you have the file system, and you are running the database management system called MySQL here, which is a relational database management software. And then you are now into this. So this program can now accept, for example, if you say show databases, this is the command under this. Okay, this program accepts this command. Okay, show databases, it will show all the databases that are part of this particular MySQL now. You can create, for example, last time we have create database Jntuk Moocs. Then it creates like the Jntuk Moocs, right? This is okay. So this will create the query. Okay, now if you say show databases, it will actually show Jntuk Moocs here. Okay, I think last time we have already created, I think, Jntuk Moocs. Okay, right? And we created a table in that, I think, and this is where we stored the. If I remember right, I think, sorry, this is not CD command, you have to say use, okay, use Jntuk Moocs. Then it will, okay, made a mistake here, database changed. Now you can say show tables here. I think we created one table last time for those bank master or whatever it is, right? Now if you say describe this bank matter, this will tell you that there is a, sorry, describe doesn't exist. Bank, I'm actually making a mistake. Okay, right. So these are the name, balance, and then. So if you say select star from, this should show all the contents of this bank matter. Okay. These are the three students, Ramya, Krishna, and Ramya. This is, I think, something that we had actually probably done something. Okay. So this is what balance. I think as an extra field, I created address, added one more field after the class, trying to do something on this. But then, so this is the program. So how this program works? You can see all the submodules of the program, how this program is written, how this select star. This is an SQL statement. What it does with the underneath no system, all that can be found out from this particular thing here. Okay, right? So I think I'm going to go little deeper, further drill one more level down beyond this. Okay, but let's see if there are any questions at this point of time. Right? Uh, if you have any questions, please put it on the chat box. I'm continuously looking at the chat box. So if there are any questions at this point, please put the questions on the chat box. Okay. Uh, we still have to figure out how to actually do the just get some water. Water. So, right. So this is what we are doing. Instead of working with files now, we are working with this MySQL database system. Now we are creating tables instead of files. Okay, earlier we created this as a bank master file. Now we have created this as a table in the database. Once you created this as a table, all that you get is only the name and balance, whatever is the column names, and then how you're going to work with this table with those column names. I think this we showed you last time in a higher level question how this can be done. We're going to drill down and then show you exactly what is the syntax of this and how you work with the SQL. What is the syntax of SQL and how you do all the SQL commands and all that will be taught as part of the course. But the idea is you have to understand you have a model now. The file doesn't have a model. As you can see, file doesn't provide any model. Okay. I think if you I'll just go out on this for a minute. I think we had actually got that. I think we had was created here. Are you able to see this? Yes. Okay. So if you actually look at this file that is created here versus the table here, okay, we had the corresponding file here that the program has created, okay, and the contents of this is here. As you can see here, this is the one, and the corresponding table is what is created here, okay. Now this is all done by the MySQL program. What MySQL program does is it internally creates the files. There are 3 files which the MySQL program creates. In fact, you can find out. No, I won't go that deep here right now, but then at some point we're going to go into that deep to see this program, that what we are actually doing itself, this program itself underneath creates the files. Okay, so if you go into this program is going to create the files. For example, when you're saying show databases, all these are actually underneath files in the operating system. Okay, these are all, though this is like seeing the ls directory here on the files, what you're seeing as directory, you're seeing all the databases here. These databases will have corresponding files at the operating system level. For example, the data of this table, for example, whatever we went in and then saw as a table here, will be a file in the operating system. So what the operating system, 2 database management systems are doing is, on top of the operating system, is to make things little more easier for you. Okay, I will give you an analogy. Okay, what we are doing, I'll give you an analogy. Okay, operating systems give you a white notebook. Okay, right? What they tell you is you can write whatever you want to write on this notebook. Okay, and we don't actually provide you any security if two people want to simultaneously write on this notebook. We don't guarantee you anything. Two people can start writing on the notebook, white notebook, at the same time. We don't guarantee anything for you. Okay? They also don't guarantee for you if the book is stolen or taken off, book, pages are torn. There is no whatsoever. You should understand a little bit, this is not security problem. This is a question of, for example, let us say, you're writing and the ink, most of us don't use the ink pen now. For a minute, as an analogy, let me give you the ink bottle that earlier we used to use, fill up and then write the, with the ink pen, Now ink bottle spills over accidentally on the notebook. All the data on the notebook will be gone. Okay. It is not a security problem. Accidentally, if the bottle, all the ink bottle spills over your notebook, all the contents of your notebook will be gone. So there is no protection that I am providing you with. Okay. So operating systems work with you like this. They are actually called the files, the file system. Okay. File system interface is read write. You can read what is written on the page. You can write whatever you want on the page. So they provide you with a read write interface, and then they don't provide you with any amount of fault tolerance. If a ink bottle spills over the notebook accidentally, there is no protection. There is also no protection if two people simultaneously starts writing on the notebook. Anything can happen to your, they don't ensure there is any consistency. First person uses one notebook, the second person uses another page of the notebook. There is no such thing, okay? Or only one person can write at a time. There are no guarantees of this nature when you are working with operating system files. The minute you make this as a database system, what they do is, they take this white page notebook. If it is a relational database system, the white page notebook will be ruled notebook. What is a ruled notebook? No, like a ledger. You draw the columns and the rows, so that anything that you can write on top, you can write field name, and below that you can write the values for that particular field. So first thing operating system, database management systems do for you is take this white page notebook, create a model on top of this white page notebook. Okay, the model is something like a ruled notebook, which means that you can n number of columns, and you can put the column name and then fill up the rows. Okay, which are the values of that column attributes. Okay, that is the model. So first they can provide you with a model. They can also provide you with different other kinds of models. For example, they can say every page they will identify with an identifier. So within that they can provide you with some fields where you can write this, and every page can be one object. So instead of actually providing you with a ruled notebook, they can also provide you with a template for filling. Every page will have a template, and you can provide into that template whatever values that are required for that template, which we will see later, could be called as an object model. Okay? There could be other models as well. So the first thing is the file will be put with a model or associated with a model, data model, for storing the data into the file, and that's the first thing that database systems do. Okay, this is basically called the data model. Okay, plus when you're accessing this data model, they provide you with a rich language for accessing this data model. For example, given the ruled notebook, you can you are not just going to use read and write here. You are going to now say create a set of columns and this number of rows where you are going to. So you can say create a table. You can say insert my data into this table. All these higher level language things you can do with this particular file now, which has this data model associated with it. Okay, right? So we are going to study that query language. For example, you can ask the question: give me all the tuples, all the rows where a particular value is more than some. For example, all the students whose age is greater than 20 or whose marks are greater than 90, then all those tuples, all those students whose marks are more than 90 will be returned by the notebook to you, okay, by the database to you, okay. These are extra language features, interface thing that is provided to you, whereas this won't be available with the file system, okay, right. Then finally, as we're talking, there are certain guarantees with this notebook that you are actually purchasing as a database notebook as opposed to a operating system notebook. Model, query language, plus it actually says if two people are simultaneously going to write on this notebook, only one will be allowed. Things like that. It's going to be a model that they provide you with. For example, there is only one pen. So unless a person first acquires this pen, he can't write onto my notebook. One of them will be allowed to write onto the notebook. So there is a guarantee that two people will not be able to corrupt your notebook. Only one will be able to access it and then work with this notebook. The other thing, for example, if no the whatever you write on this notebook, I am going to make a copy, make a log, so that everything is duplicated and stored. Somebody else, whatever you are writing on this, they will make another copy of this and keep it somewhere. So accidentally this ink spills over this notebook, you can use that copy to restore the book back. You can buy a new book, you can create a new book and exactly restore this book to its original position, even when things like an ink has spilled over this book. Okay, so they do an extra work for you of keeping another copy, making sure whatever you're doing on this copy is maintained on the other copy as well. Okay, right? So that's how they provide you with the additional protection mechanisms which are generally not available in the regular file system. Okay. Right? Yeah. So that is the difference. So that's what we are seeing by all this. So what we have, if you have understood this, this program MySQL is what it is providing. The operating system files, for example, the bank master here. Okay, I think I created this as a bank matter file here. Okay, so the file the operating system is created here is something like a white notebook. Okay, and the program that this MySQL program created is like the okay. Uh, this file that you created here, this table that you created is like the rule notebook. Okay, this is a rule notebook provided with all the concurrency control plus the no, fault tolerant. For example, there's going to be another, as I said, the analogy that I gave. There's going to be another notebook where everything will be in some sense replicated. So whatever you've written here, even if the file gets corrupted, it's possible for you to restore it back exactly to its original position. So that is the difference between using operating system files versus the database files. And remember, all this, there is going to be this bank matter, take it as master. Okay, I've misspelled it here. We'll call this as a bank master. Okay, the bank master table will get converted into, we'll see later, this will be converted into 3 files underneath, okay, at the operating system level. We'll see where these files are going to be. One is the schema file, the other is a that this has the following columns, rows, columns, and fields. Okay. The other one it is going to have is a data file. Okay, the data what is available in this data, and also this will have what is called the index to access all the fields in a random access fashion. So this underneath this one table that you are seeing in the database gets converted into 3 files, 3 operating system level files. We have only one file here, right? So this will have a schema file, this will have a data file, this will have an index file. We're going to see what are the different kinds of indexing that are needed here for accessing these files and how we're going to deal with this. Right now what I do is I will try to actually see if there are any questions before I go further. Are there any questions? Let me see if I can go to any of these users that I have here. I will go to Kite College. They actually put the let me see. Yeah, am I getting the Kite College here? Yes. Okay. I'm seeing the students here, right? Yeah. Okay. These are the third year students. Let me ask one question. Now, is the difference between using operating system files and the database management system, is that clear for you people, for the students here? What's your name? What's the name of this first student here? What is the name of this student here? Yeah. What's your name? The microphone is not working. Is the microphone not working? Hello? You have the computer there with you? Do you have the computer there with you? This guy looks like more like a hero. He's smiling and he's turning around. Okay. I think looks to me that he'll jump into cinema field very soon. If the mic is not working, no, is the mic not working, Srinivas there? What is the problem? Why the mic is not working? Uh, mic is not working. If video is working, mic won't be working. Okay, let me go to Vijayanagaram campus. They are the standard people where things seems to be working all the time. So let me get to them. Hello? Why is it not coming? See, hello? This also is not visible. Yeah. Before I go further, I'm little faster in today's class, so I just wanted to have little chat and then see that people do the. Hello? 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 It's a bit scary. What's happening? Yeah, I'm getting the. Can I get one of the students there? See, I want. No, I'm not. Yeah. No, looks like. Is it working? Okay, let me ask this question. No, and then hello? Where is the. No. Is that working or not working?
Not working.
Okay, I give up. I give up with this college also. Let me go to one more college and see if I can succeed. Otherwise, I will. Why is it that things are not going that smoothly? Selected user is. Anybody else is publishing the. No, quite a few colleges are not publishing that. Um, okay, so let me ask this question. I don't know how many of you are. See, you are only listening to me. I don't know if any of you have got a computer with you. I just want you to hit command and tell me whether it's working for you or not. What it is actually saying. Okay, and has anybody worked previously with JIT here in in any of the colleges? Has anybody actually worked with version management software called the JIT? Has anybody worked with JIT earlier? With JIT earlier, please respond to this. One of the things I want to do is move these colleges to open source software. I'm completely, what I feel is unless our students, get exposed to open source software and have the ability to work with open source software, they will have serious employability issues in the future. Please understand this, because only when people understand the whole process of development, software development, okay, then the employability is likely to go up in the near future. As one of the no recent one of the recent article, somebody was mentioning BTech science is equivalent to 10th standard now, because they're only working with very simple tools, and nothing other than very simple tools is being getting exposed to the computer science students. There's one guy who says that he worked on JIT. Okay, can um, uh, there's only one college that is responding that they worked on JIT. Okay. Now, one of the assignments in this course is likely to actually require you to get the MySQL program and modify the MySQL program. Okay, right? So I'm just seeing how many of you have actually worked on JIT, which is B2. That's no Jntuk B2. Which college is that? Can you identify your college? Kite College. Okay. Any other colleges have worked on this? Okay, so here is the exercise. First exercise for all the colleges who are participating in this. I'll see how they've been able to do on this when I just come back. Okay, you have to actually have download the MySQL source code and then install the MySQL. Okay, running MySQL system on your system yourself. Okay, so which means that you need to download. Is my desktop still getting shared? Right. So one of the things you're going to do here is you're going to go and then this is an open source software, so it's a free software. As opposed to Oracle and all that stuff, you are going to actually, you can directly download, compile it and install it on your machine. Whoever wants to do it can do it. So one of the commands that you're going to do now is you actually will go to the MySQL software and you're going to actually download this MySQL software with the JIT command that I've given you. Okay, I'll show you. I'll sort of delete this. In fact, I need this, but then anyway, I'll delete this. Okay, remove MySQL. In fact, this is the reason why we are actually telling the colleges that they should move to so I have to say yes, so possibly this will start asking me delete website manager. Okay, so now let us see if I can actually fire the okay, so this is cloning into MySQL server. This will download. When you say this JIT clone, this will create, for example, now you can see it will start downloading. This will take some time, but the whole source code will come to your local directory. Okay. Now, why we should go into this model. Okay, for example, this is all demystified. Now, database systems are demystified for you in this class. That's the idea of actually looking at this level. Okay, there are operating system files, and database systems are nothing but actually an extra set of programs that are written on top of the file system, so that you can work with the data more effectively using database management systems as opposed to working with the files. Okay. Now here is what the whole program looks like. You want to improve the performance of your database management system. You have a new algorithm for improving the performance of your database management system. You can go here, modify the algorithm, the way the data is being accessed by your program. You want to make it quicker, you want to make it faster. Okay, because the faster access is very important. No, large data, when you have large data, for example, you want to actually make it faster, access faster. Okay. Now, often what happens when the data becomes large, the access times also go up. Okay, and when more people start accessing, also there are going to be more problems with the database. Okay, so you want to improve the performance of your database system. That's the time when you're going to say, look, I will look into this. I will look at the source code of my MySQL system database server. Here you don't need to write all other pieces. You just need to only look at the storage, look at the corresponding code that is accessing, and the indexing system, you want to make it faster. The way the files are being accessed, the data is being accessed, you want to make it faster. Then you can go do a little bit of your innovation there, modify the algorithm, improve it, and then thereby you can improve the performance of the database. And you can also show by how much you improve the performance of your database. All this will be possible with open source software. None of our seems to be completely moving into the open source software. That's where basically, if you look at this system that we're giving, okay, there is an Bharat operating system solution. This is a CDAC version of the distribution of the Linux operating system. This MOOL is IIT Madras minimalistic object-oriented Linux. This actually supports C++ device drivers on this operating system. Okay. Why I am going more deep in this subject? Now it's possible for you, for example, using this operating system, the way files are accessed, you can modify using the object-oriented filters. That's possible to write using this this operating system. This is an open source free operating system kernel being available from IIT Madras. Okay, so the amount of learning that will happen for you will be tremendous here. We are no longer, for example, some people ask me, why am I not using Oracle? If I use Oracle, first thing is a licensed program. I can't see the internals of Oracle unless they give license for the source code, which they are obviously not going to give me the source code license. I can't change the source code license and then and make changes to that and improve upon it, because those are not in my hands. But whereas if you look at here, the operating system code is source is free for me. I can look at the source code. I can write my own filters in terms of how the files are being accessed. On top of it, the MySQL program is free. I want to improve upon the performance of this data system. I can again come up with a new idea. I can implement that and then use that and test it, and then all this whole stack becomes free for you, and the learning becomes many-fold when you actually go into this model. One of the key things is in India, computer science education, we are not adopting the open source open source model as we should be. Countries like France and US have been embracing the open source model so well that the learning for the student becomes several times compared to what it is if he is not actually using the open source software system. This is one of the key things why I'm actually trying to change. This is not the traditional way of teaching the database course. Okay, I don't want to teach a traditional database course for these colleges. No, for having a traditional database management course, you don't need to come to me, because you all will be able to do it. But the way I am doing it, there will be several layers to this, and lot of students and faculty should be in a position to pick their own problems and work on them subsequent to this course, so that they can do projects, they can do something more after this course. That's the reason why we are trying to build that capability using the course. That's the idea of actually giving this course. Um, and also there is an issue here which you should realize. Every Wednesday and Friday, between 2 to 3:40 for me to give the lecture is not likely to work out, because my workload in IIT Madras and elsewhere is extremely high, and then I won't be able to set apart both these days, because I have actually a lot of meetings normally scheduled in the afternoon by IIT Madras, PhD students reviews and all that gets scheduled in the afternoons for me. So that's one other difficulty for me. What I'm going to do is, the regular material that is available, I'm not going to teach that for you, because that's anyways available as part of my video lectures. And if you look at the way I'm doing here, is not part of the video lectures that are already available. If you look at the video lectures, the content of that is traditional from the textbook material. But what I'm covering for you, example, as I go, one of the things that questions I have is, I think this takes quite some time. As you can see, this is likely to take a lot of time for this to be downloaded. So you have to work with it to download this. Only when you get the full source code, what you need to do is, there is a CMake. How many of you have worked with CMake? Has anybody in these colleges have worked with CMake? Have they worked with make files? How large C programs are written and why make is useful? Have they actually understand the make utility? If you have already worked with make and CMake, please send yes to me on this chat box. I'm not getting any response, which means that you're not familiar with make and CMake. Okay, I suggest that you make yourself familiar with make and CMake. Okay, and then one of the most important exercises for me is, which I'm giving for you people. You need to actually download the MySQL software, which is a relational, open source relational database software, and then you have to actually install that software on your systems as part of the first exercise for me. Why I'm giving this exercise is, this will teach you all the things of working with large software, how to actually use all the related tools in compiling, installing large C and C++ programs. This that all our students should acquire, because they can't work with small programs. They need to work with large programs. When they go to industry, one of the key requirements is they should be able to work with large programs. Okay, so I'm going to look at, I'm probably not going to come on a regular basis for teaching. That's the reason why I'm actually giving the exercises, and I will actually do about 15 lectures, not the full component of the lectures I'm not planning to do for this course. Anyway, you have my video lectures which are available for the database course, which are used by large number of students all over the world. I'm not going to repeat those video lectures. You can take those video lectures. My concentration is more going to be using the BOSMOL and the MySQL. I'm going to give you some exercises, okay? And I'm going to make you do some exercises on top of this, okay? I'm going to show you the case study, and we'll give you some assignments based on this case study so that you can go and then develop stuff from that point onwards yourself. Okay, that's the main thing, and this is not available as part of the lectures in my in my video lectures. Okay, my video lectures typically cover the database video lectures cover the theoretical material well. The practical content of working with systems is not available in the no, I don't see make and see make. At least some students should be familiar with make. Are they familiar with make? If you're familiar with make, please no, indicate that to me on the chat box. Okay. Now, one of the exercises, clearly the exercises that I would like you to have as part of the course is, you should be in a position to download any large open source software and should be able to build it from the source, the executable files. Vijayanagaram campus is familiar. So one of the basic skills I want most of the colleges who are participating in this course to have is the ability to download open source software which is and for that I'm using the MySQL. Seeing how it is working. We are actually pitching this course very high. Normally this course is not pitched this high no, for regular undergrad students, but we are deliberately pitching it high so that we see how many of the students participating in this course will be able to reach a little higher, because obviously unless you do this, you're not likely to increase your chances of the employability chances. Okay. I also note that there is the regular content which Jntuk Moocs said he is going to cover, and then this is extra. Whatever 15 lectures that I will be doing will be add-on and highly intensive lectures meant for taking the students one notch up. Okay. The rest of the lectures are going to be covered by Jntuk Moocs, and then that will take care of the university requirement of conducting the exam and then giving you the marks and all that. This add-on 15 lectures, the 15 lectures that I give are going to be extremely deep as I've done it today. And then I teach you something beyond what the regular textbook material is going to be. That's my way of looking at how I would like to proceed with this. Okay. In the next class, what I'm going to show you is, as I go, I'm going to give you some break, because unless you've done this, I won't be able to come there. Okay. I'm going to go into MySQL things. And in fact, we can also change the model. We can in fact take a NoSQL database. This is basically a relational database. We can even combine a non-relational database like Cassandra into the storage system, which means that the essential framework will remain same, but we can extend the models as we want to object model, object databases, or to NoSQL databases, and that's the direction where I will be going. So next class, what I'm going to show you is how the sequence of things will work in the MySQL database. I'm going to get into the relational database model, get into the table, show you exactly what are the commands that are available with the relational database model, give you some theory, go into the actual storage system, show you how the storage system is going to operate. Okay, that's what I'm going to do in the next class. Okay, I hope this last two classes we had also problems with the I hope today we don't have any serious problem with the AView this thing. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, I hope it went on smoothly. This is another issue that is bothering me, okay. The other issue that's bothering me is the whiteboard. I still don't have a whiteboard, writing whiteboard. I still have to see. There is some whiteboard, thanks to Professor Chakravarti, who sent the eyeball take note, which, but then I'm still not seeing what I write on the whiteboard. This is very important for me, because the material. Otherwise, putting that into a slide will take a lot of time for me. I need a whiteboard. Okay, so I have to still figure out how I'm going to get a whiteboard to get the conceptual part plus the theory part plus the practice part. The practice part can be very easily brought in using my desktop sharing. But the theory part where I need to do some theory, I need a whiteboard. Okay. So that whiteboard still I have some difficulty. So we'll figure out in the next two classes. Hopefully that problem will be solved for me. Okay. Sure. With that, I think I will sort of sign off today and not come on a regular basis, as I was saying. The regular basis, Professor Murthy is going to do the ER model, then he will actually go with the standard content of the syllabus content of the university, and you can also use my video lectures for the standard content. For example, how to convert the ER model into relational model. Okay, relational. I will give the relational model to actually the SQL, all the normalizations and all that. That I will cover a little bit, and I give you my perspective on how the database design is done and what is the core of the database design. Okay, I'll take an example and then build the whole thing from the case study. Okay, from end to end, I will build the whole thing from a case study perspective. Okay, there I will put all the concepts that are required. ER model to relational database design to normalization to transaction management to fault tolerance. I'm going to cover this taking an example. Okay, that's what my plan is. The bookish part of it, either you can pick it up from my video lectures. There are 43 video lectures there, or you can pick it up through the regular other mode that JVR Murthy will put in place. Okay, that's the way this course is going to go from now, and hopefully we will not have any more problems with the video servers and the network issues from now onwards. I hope to see you. I'll tell you when I'm going to see you. Weekly, I probably will see you only once or twice. In 2 weeks' time, I'll see you once, but I'll give you the exercises that are needed for you to be doing in 2 weeks once. Okay? Sure. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think somebody is saying familiar. I'm familiar. I don't know who is this person. I still couldn't go to level I